Let's face it, when you think about the undisputed mascot of Microsoft's Xbox console today, it's an easy decision. Halo's Master Chief came out of nowhere to capture this title, and rightly so, as the Halo franchise has become one of the most recognizable in gaming history. However, the answer wasn't always so easy. This is Gabe from CGR Undertow, and when Microsoft first released their Xbox, they weren't really sure what their identity was. This led to their first mascot, BLINX the Time Sweeper. Following the adventures of the title character, you are tasked with traveling through different dimensions in time in an effort to defeat the evil time monsters that inhabit them. That's about as far as the story goes, and frankly, that's okay. I don't want a game to start piling on drama about a time-traveling cat. However, there is a slight similarity to the book titled Time Cat, which is also about a time-traveling cat. This may just be a coincidence, but it does lead to some curiosity. Released in late 2002, BLINX the Time Sweeper was one of the most widely advertised games for the Xbox. Gameplay is, for the most part, your basic platformer. However, there are a couple of twists that set BLINX apart from the pack. BLINX is given a magic sweeper that allows him to pick up trash and shoot it at his enemies. This is done using the right trigger with a slight tap firing these items out. While this sounds good in theory, its execution is not as pleasant. The game has a fairly substantial problem with an auto-aim feature, so you'll often find yourself firing a piece of trash at an enemy that you didn't mean to attack. The game also features time manipulation, and BLINX can use moves like slow down, pause, and record to help him solve puzzles and defeat enemies. This works beautifully, and it is one of the more unique features of any game for the Xbox. There's nothing quite like pausing an enemy right before you send him to an early grave. BLINX the Time Sweeper also has another gameplay issue that is prevalent in original Xbox games. The camera has an odd habit of getting stuck in corners. Although this doesn't sound like a huge issue, BLINX is already one of the hardest games on the original Xbox. Difficulty is usually a good thing, and if you're like most gamers, you like a challenge. However, BLINX the Time Sweeper is not a fun kind of difficult. It's a frustrating kind of difficult, and your neighbors are probably going to hear you scream some four-letter expletives along the way. Lots of four-letter expletives. An extremely redeeming aspect of BLINX is its visuals. The game has some of the best graphics on the original Xbox, and if I didn't know better, I'd think this was a 360 game. The hair on BLINX's ears has a very dynamic look, and all of the animations are clean and crisp. Cartooning graphics usually lead to a game's life increasing, and this is no exception. In addition, the music is some of the best in Xbox history. Utilizing an electronic, slightly progressive score, BLINX keeps you moving with a soundtrack that fits perfectly to each level. I even found myself humming the song long after I finished playing. Finally, boss fights are some of the best moments in the game. Taking place at the end of each round, these fights usually have a unique strategy that the player must use to defeat them. Each boss is covered in crazy numbers and letters, and they are usually 10 times the size of BLINX. Although they're short, these fights are a lot of fun, and you'll find yourself wanting to play them over and over again. This game is not for everyone, but it does have a certain nostalgia factor that will keep people playing it, despite its problems. And although many aspects of BLINX the Time Sweeper are mediocre, this game is much greater than the sum of its parts. The overall package gives you a fun experience that will keep you relatively satisfied, and although it isn't perfect by any means, if you're looking for one of the quirkiest games on the original Xbox, look no further. Pick up BLINX the Time Sweeper.